Welcome everybody to the Curiosity Cache. How's it going today?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
Yay! Good. I love technology. It's my favorite.
This stream is plagued by the technology demon.
I
I
think
am
you are
convinced.
correct.
Each time somebody is plagued by the demon.
It's at least one of us.
Yeah.
Exactly.
At least one of us.
Right.
Sometimes two, if the demon's feeling super froggy that day.
Pretty sure that's going to be our like, overarching bad guy.
Right,
Yes.
right.
Basically break the fourth wall and fight the technology demon.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
they're gonna Deadpool it.
So let's see. Last time, you were trying to figure out Srigik, your new rat friend, who is made up of multiple rats. You decided to call it evening, and Friede decided on his own to head down to the docks.
As you do.
While there, I mean, he had this like calling, and so I understand. But while there, someone bashed him on the head, and he was taken away. So when he was bashed on the head, Srigik sat up in Dhesim's room and was like, and so Dhesim decided to follow Srigik and woke everyone up, and you all headed down to the docks. Once there, you found signs of a struggle on the beach and like a trail that led to a dock without a ship. From there, you talked to a fairly drunk individual, if I remember correctly, and he told you that he saw someone loading something that looked like it could have been a body onto the ship that was there, which left port hurriedly. So, I think if I remember correctly, you guys wanted to speak with the dock master, or the harbor master, in order to find out about that ship, correct?
Yes.
All right.
And
So, the port, or like the harbor really runs 24/8. There's 8 days in a Skarn week. So, 24/8. And so you go down to the harbor master office, and there is a person in there.
Mhm.
Let's say it's an elvish person, and she kind of tiredly eyes you. What can I do you for?
Hi. We are wondering if we could get a little bit more information about where a ship is going, because we think one of our friends may have decided to get on the ship sometime this morning, early morning, almost late last night, really early this morning, and left without telling us. So we're trying to track them down, just to make sure they're safe, and hopefully connect with him at the port that they're going to.
Sounds a little fishy to me.
yeah.
Well, we are by the dock. There are a lot of fish.
Oh, that was a
So
pun.
I don't.
-5 points.
The GM loses a level. What ship was your friend on?
Well, they were on a ship that was in, and I described the dock that they were on, whether that's like third to the left or third to the right or second.
While you're
star
talking,
straight
she pulls out
past.
this little clipboard and is looking at it. She's like, no, the Argyle hasn't left yet. It's still over there. If you hurry, they're supposed to go out later today, but if you go over there, they should be there.
Oh, it's gone, I think.
What? No.
Yeah.
No, it says right here. It's there.
Well,
They-
why don't
well,
you
we-
go out there? We can look with our eyes.
Well,
She like flips up the little walkway to get
I'm
behind
sorry,
from behind the
but-
counter, pushes
Yes.
past you.
The ship may have been taken along with our friend, so you can understand why we're in a hurry.
No, this is wrong. It says right
It's-
here the ship
I
is supposed
know.
to be there.
It was called the Argyle, though.
The Argyle, yeah.
The Argyle. Okay. I mean, are the people that are supposed to be on it still here, maybe, or do you think they just decide to leave early?
I don't know. Follow me.
Okay.
And she starts
Okay.
walking towards the dock. As you walk past the dock, the gentleman that you persuaded with booze last time is kind of standing up and stretching, shaking his head out. He's got this big greenish beard, and it's just like kind of dripping with probably alcohol. And he eyes everybody as they walk by. And you get down to the dock where the Argyle was docked at and it like tied off. And the dock master is just like staring at the space and then looking at the clipboard. And she's like, no, this isn't right.
Well, why were they supposed to leave at a specific time, or do you know where they were headed?
Well, yeah, they're supposed to leave midday today, and I don't like things not going according to the schedule. The schedule is important.
Yes, it is. Maybe they, I can't speak for them because they left.
But your friend was on the ship.
Yes, and he left us
Yeah.
without, telling us.
It may not have been voluntary.
Is
we
this your
asked-
friend's fault?
No,
That this is
absolutely
not going according to the schedule?
No, it's absolutely not his
No.
fault. I suspect that maybe the people running the ship talked him into some crazy thing, and obviously we're concerned and have his best interests at heart and want to make sure he's okay. Obviously, these individuals have no respect.
Your
for
friend sounds like a
schedules
hooligan.
Well, that's the thing.
little
He's
bit.
heavily influenced, which means that other hooligans might be able to influence him, but we keep him on the straight and narrow. So we really need to find him to make sure that he stays on the right track. That's the lawful and good and righteous track of scheduled ship leavings.
Obviously, you need to keep your friend on a shorter leash. And she stalks you back down the...
Wait.
What?
I'll be honest.
To-
We
to-
tried the leash last night and it didn't work.
We did try leash.
Yeah.
But more importantly, do you know where the ship was leaving to?
She glances through, and she's like, yeah, let me look at my darn map for just a second. Over there, I think they were heading to Vesh. I don't know if
Vesh,
Vesh is a
okay.
port city. Oh, well, hello, Gelspad map. The Gelspad map says, why didn't you think of this sooner? Loading.
Well, I'm sure the destination is in one of those lovely, lovely schedules you've got there, along
It
with
is,
the name
it is.
of
She's, like,
another
flipping
ship that
papers
we might
back.
be able to commandeer to chase them down in the name of justice.
We'll go with...
justice is
Surely you
always
have
a
that,
good
right?
thing.
Oh, no, Vesh is a country. They weren't heading to Vesh. It's a landlocked country, too. She's sorry, my brain is scattered right now. Fangs Fall. They were heading to Fangs Fall. That's what this
Fangs
says
Fall,
right
all
here.
right. Okay, Fangs Fall. Thank you. Do you know any ships in the area that might be headed generally towards that destination as well that are currently
No.
just in the...
No. She's like going down her checklist. No. There's supposed to be another ship coming in from that direction later today. Maybe when they head back out, they'll head that direction. But I won't know until they get
Okay.
here.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. We appreciate and we'll make sure to, check in with our friend and absolutely take your advice and keep him on a very short leash in the future.
As it should be.
Yes.
So as she
Yes,
like
as it
stalks
should be.
off down the wharf, Pratchya, this scent just kind of washes over you, and it seems familiar. And you turn around, and that drunk man is standing behind you.
Hi.
So you want to go to Fang's Fall, eh?
Yes.
Well, since you were so kind as to keep me plied with booze last night, I could perhaps get you there.
Could
What do you mean, perhaps?
I mean, I'm not a seer of anything. Can't tell the future, but I do have connections, ways of getting you there.
okay. What sort of connections are these?
Well, before we continue, I need to know one thing, because I was eavesdropping, but this I don't know what you gave me. It made eavesdropping a little harder than I thought. What's your intention once you get to Fang's Fall?
To
Use a
get-
short leash.
Yes, actually, legitimately to get our friend back. He's gone missing. We think he was on a ship that is going to that direction, and so our entire mission is to get him back, and then come back here, most likely,
Fang's
unless
Fall,
something else stops us, which is likely.
Calastian spent a lot of time at Fang's Fall, yeah?
Yes, I don't know much about the
Chaz, you
area.
might have a message.
Uh-huh, yeah. I don't have a message. I'll just wait for that message.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know what...
all right. So, drunk man,
Mm-hmm.
as you're talking with them, you realize that they're probably talking about the ship that left port earlier that you had told them that Calastians got on.
Yeah.
That ship did not head west towards Fang's Fall. You saw it leave. It was going east.
Aha. Well, I don't know who that was you were talking to, but they have bad information. They were
Well,
going east.
Well, they do have an incorrect schedule.
Yes. So this is what I'll do. Are you fans of Calastians? I just feel like we should get that out the way right now. You're like...
I mean, I'm going to point to my friend Dhesim and his new son, new child, Friede, and let you come to your own conclusion, as well as Brakaw, and let you come to your own conclusion, as well as me, and let you come to your own conclusion, and guess whether or not we get along really well with Calastians.
Oh, you're muted,
We
Chaz.
can't hear you.
I am muted. Yeah, I guess that's a fair assumption. I had to be sure, but I guess I should introduce myself. My name is Captain Morgan. Nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you, Captain Morgan.
What did you say, Captain Morgan?
Morrigan?
Morrigan. Yes, I am not Captain Morgan. I know that guy. He is the worst. Don't ever confuse me with him. But I'm sorry. That's a whole thing. Allow me to bring you to my ship, and perhaps we can start sailing in the direction they headed, which was in fact east.
Sounds great. You have a ship.
Heck,
You have a ship.
I mean, what kind of captain would I be without a ship?
That is true. You have a ship.
Yep.
I do hide that information because my ship is it's a law-abiding ship for sure, but depending on whose law it is at that time of day, not everyone is always excited about what's happening on my ship.
Are there any rules for what happens on your ship?
Of course, there's rules. My rules.
Can you give us a brief summary as we run to the ship?
Brief summary.
Can you tell me a little bit about how to swim? Just in case.
Yeah, you just know how to swim. You go in the water, and it's like natural. You swim, you control the water, you breathe in the water. It's fine. Brief rules: don't compare me with Captain Morgan. He's horrible. And then anything I think of at the time also is a rule. which you should know because like it's pretty. So like I thought of it, so you should also think of it. All right, let's go.
Okay. Where is that telepathic rat?
Sergey's just like sitting there. You realize he's chewing on something. It's probably like a piece of trash. You're not really sure where he got it from.
It's good for the immune system. I think I actually might join him on the trash chewing. And that's always a good idea. And rules that come, at random whim. I mean, this is the perfect master. We
This
should
one gets
totally
it.
listen to him. That's how rules work. The perfect master. Like every master I've ever had, except for you. You two. Oh, one of the other masters is dead. We're gonna go get his body.
All right, Captain Morgan. I pronounce it right. Lead the
Yes.
way.
All right, so I guess I'll take them in the direction of the ship.
Sure. So down the docks is this small one-mast ship. I think it's one mast.
Pretty sure.
The narrative may change as we go along. Who knows? Masts may just appear along the way. It's a two-mast ship.
Hey.
And you notice like a woman standing on the back, like dumping buckets of some kind of semi-viscous fluid over the edge, and she waves at Captain Morgan.
How's the ship faring?
You know that's Miela.
Mm-hmm. Is she?
Why is she wasting that food?
Would I have any experience with Slytherin?
Yeah.
Would I have any experience with Slytherin like Dhesim?
No. Desim's pretty unique.
Yeah.
Yeah, Slytherin are the ones you've dealt with are definitely more understandable, but they also you share a language, whereas Desim's Lydian is kind of choppy and weird. He has a weird accent.
Interesting. All right. I've seen weirder, I assume.
But as the three of
Maybe
you
not.
follow
He sounds
Captain
like a
Morgan.
Slytherin.
What's that?
He sounds like the Slytherin for the Blood Sea. A very similar accent to the Eastern Slytherin.
Right? I mean, and there's never anything wrong with anything from the Blood Sea.
No, totally normal. Totally normal place.
So as you follow Captain Morgan over, you realize his skin is like a bluish tone, and as he was talking and kind of moving around, you saw gills kind of moving in his neck. Just so you know.
I'm sure this will be a flying cruise.
Yeah.
What are those? I've never seen those before.
Are you pointing to Captain Morgan?
Yeah, I think that just slipped out under stress.
What are what? This is a shirt. You've seen a shirt. You're wearing a shirt.
Yes, but not of fine quality like your shirt is.
Aha, you're ironbred of good taste. Well, I didn't get this at this port, but depending on how long you stay, perhaps we can get you a shirt just as fine as this.
There you go, Brakaw. You can have a shirt just like his.
As you're trying to wipe off some of the vomit stains.
Yes, I think if I looked a little better, I'd feel a little better.
I mean, you can take as a big a look as you want. In fact, I think you should. What was that?
Never mind.
Okay. I guess you should meet the crew because you say we're trying to save a friend of yours.
Yes.
Get his body back.
Get his.
I am sure he's still alive.
Then
I mean, his alive body back.
There we go. we are looking for our friend. His name is Friede, and he was probably taken by Calastians, but we're going to get him back. So, with your very generous offer of having us on the ship, we are also, suffice to say, willing to do whatever, because obviously your ship your rules.
Whatever you say. Well, how about this?
Mostly anything.
Because I have a history with Calastians too. So perhaps if I get you to help you save your friend, and then I'll have all three of you each buy me some liquor. Huh? Yeah?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Sure.
We'll buy you some liquor.
Sure.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. I know that's a hard deal, but I'm almost out of this, and I assume I'm almost out of the moonshine that Pratchya got yesterday.
That's up to you. Yeah. Well, because
Yeah.
actually it wasn't even yesterday. It was like a couple hours ago.
True. Okay,
Actually-
we'll say halfway done.
Okay.
One question about that. Does it have to be purchased alcohol if we can requisition it from someone else for this noble cause? Are you okay with that?
I mean, I am a man of great taste, and through my years of living, I've learned that liquor is liquor. So yeah, as long as I have it, I'm kind of fine with it.
So as you're walking down the dock that goes up to the ship, you see that it's called the Cyrene, and the woman walks down to the gangplank to essentially welcome the captain and eyes the rest of you. Are we taking on passengers, Captain?
We are taking on crew members for a rescue from the Calastians. And I'll wink at her knowingly,
Well, welcome,
Yeah.
crew members. And she gestures at the deck.
I'm gonna stare at her and then slowly back at the captain, and then regret my choices and walk up.
Okay.
As you walk up, I'll be like, just so you're aware, there is no one on this ship who has any love of Calastians. So any chance we can just mess with their heads, because of course, once again, we're all law-abiding citizens.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Of course. So then I'll head up on the deck.
Okay. Brakaw and Dhesim, what are you doing?
Well, I'm going on board.
I'm sorry,
Looking
what was-
warily at the water, like I'm terrified of it, but
Gotcha.
going on board.
Okay. Dhesim?
We'll try not to call it the Sirenity. Season 1.
Season only.
And also try and... Huh?
Season only.
Season only. I know. Sirenity. Also trying to figure out what a law-abiding citizen is, because that's a very long string of words.
Yeah.
But also showing Squiggy how to board a ship.
Oh, Sergey's
I've
not
never
there.
done it myself. So this is actually a new and exciting experience. Now that we're all slaves to this guy, I'm really excited that I now have masters who are also slaves, and that's really cool. That means that I am the slave to the slaves, and that's I think the greatest honor I could ever have.
So while you're so excited, you go to talk to Srigik about all of this, and Srigik is not there.
What?
And you look around, and Srigik is way back at the start of the docks, and he's just kind of looking at you.
Aww.
I mean, I know what's going to get Skrigik. Where's that lady with the food? What is wasting the food
tavern?
over the side?
She's right there.
Yeah. I want some of that. Don't waste that.
Do you tell her that?
Yeah.
She's like, that's not food. That's food after it's been through. the rest of you.
So yeah, don't waste the food.
She eyes you a little warily. The food, as you call it, is already overboard. Sorry? She eyes the captain.
What's your name, young one?
Do you gesture at somebody specifically? Or?
At Slytherin. At Dhesim.
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 Trying to figure out if his new name is Young One or if it's Dhesim.
I guess he'll wait, we can get you more food. Is it food you want? We have, not a smorgasbord, but there is food that we can share. You don't have to eat the remnants of food.
Oh, yes. Dhesim needs food badly.
I guess I'll since we'll all be working because we need to make haste. We should each have not a feast, but some kind of grog and meats to just kind of fuel our bodies. So yes, let's have a quick break and eat and talk about what we're going to do. Of
Okay.
actual food, not the food that's overboard.
Miela is I'll go get Crut and we'll make something. I don't know. We'll make something. She just puts her hands, throws her hands in the air and walks off.
We're ruining her schedule.
Right? She doesn't seem quite so angry as the elf lady. What do you do while you wait?
Dhesim, where's Strikik?
Dhesim will get him.
Okay.
Dhesim will get Skrigik. Dhesim will scurry off to go get his progeny.
Okay. So as you reach the start of the docks, Strigik is standing over there and he keeps looking over at the water and making these weird little screechy noises that are discomfort noises. Nope, don't want it.
Yeah, but there's food.
He looks back at the tavern and there's all the trash and refuse laying around.
Oh, that does look good. But we have a new master over our masters now, and we have to go with them because the new master of the masters is going to feed us. And he used a big fancy word, smorgs something. And I think that means really good.
Smorgasbording, where they just have a plank of food.
Smorgs. Oh, a board of smorg. Smorg is a smorg.
Smorg.
I don't know what that is. Yeah, come on.
Sorry, I'm loading up your sheet here so that I can roll a roll for you. Do. So he kind of eyes you warily and shakes his head.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm only your sire. I'm not your boss.
You're not my real dad.
I'm a real dad, and I don't have a key to the shop, so you're gonna have to go back to the nice lady in the shop, and she'll let you stay in my room.
I'm so glad there is no one else around to tell you no. I mean, what? Strigik tilts his head at you while you're talking, and it looks like he's thinking about what you said, and then he turns and scampers off the way you came down.
I grew up so quickly.
Oh, I
He's
told her.
gotten out of the hole and hasn't died.
Oh,
He's lived a whole day.
Yay!
First rite of passage.
Suichiro's so mad at us.
Yeah, I'm
What
gonna
if-
go back to boat.
What if we come back and she's like, Srigik is so cool,
Right?
and they're like,
No, she won't though.
I mean, she won't know.
Squig is casting fireball, terrorizing the town.
All right, so Sarig takes off, and Dhesim walks back down to the Serenity.
Serenity, yay!
Now it's stuck in my head.
Do I have a brown
I'm
coat?
changing
Do I
it.
have a brown coat around?
Serenity. Okay.
I'm gonna go hang out with Brakaw.
Okay. So as Dhesim walks back up, Miela and a half-orc come walking out, and they're carrying like breads and some fruits and stuff. They're like, "This is what you get. It's not even breakfast yet. I'll go start breakfast." The half-orc says, "But
bread is good. Bread is amazing.
bread is amazing. That's what I said."
Yeah.
Bread is amazing. Yes.
Miela asks, "Are we leaving?"
As soon as possible. In fact, we have the bread. Postpone the breakfast creation for a little bit. And let's get underway. We have Colations to meet.
She kind of leans back and looks towards the harbor master office. Shrugs.
No, she's already had a bad day. One more ship won't make her any more mad.
Right.
We will have to talk to her when we get back, though. Just a heads up.
I thought she was completely aware of our departure, so let's go.
That's right. So Miela walks back to where she and Kruk came out of the I can't think of the word right now. The structure in the back of a ship. You know. And after a little while,
Cabin?
Sure. Yeah. Let's see. Two more humans, one female and one male, and a Sathi, which is a snake person. And then this hideous looking, weird, long limbed, green skinned, covered in weird growths kind of person walks out. He's taller than Pratchya, taller than Brakaw. He's wearing the typical sailor scalp piece, the bandana. And everyone starts getting to work on getting the ship ready to move out. So as they scurry around you all, what do you do?
Dhesim.
Eat the s'morg.
There's no
Yes.
board, though.
No board at all.
I don't know what s'morg is. I guess the Borg happens after the board. Did we get beaten afterwards? Maybe.
Pratchya,
That'll be okay. We had s'morg first.
I'm gonna eat the bread
Okay.
and then look at Dhesim. Where did Srigik go?
Srigik has passed the first rite of passage, which is not dying on the first day upon emerging from the hole. And so
Okay.
now he is earning his next name.
How is he earning his next? What's his next name?
I don't know. The next name will be discovered tomorrow when Srigik does not die. But I have taught Srigik all that I can.
So he's running around, or Srigik they're running around the city. Somewhere.
Srigik is undergoing the next rite of passage.
That's fine.
Do you
Dhesim
choose
has
your
taught
names
Srigik
as you
many
come of
things.
age?
How to open doors, where to do the things that Srigik must do, how to speak.
Brakaw, what were you saying?
Oh, I was just asking Dhesim, Did you choose your name as you came of age? Is Skrigit going to choose their own name?
Oh no, you don't choose a name; it's given to you.
Okay.
Oh,
We'll
who
get them when we come back.
One day, Dhesim will have a new name.
Oh, okay. What
Excellent.
does Dhesim mean?
It is not a kind name.
Oh, I'm
Does
sorry.
the master wish to know the meaning? I will, or Dhesim will try to translate.
Only if you want to tell me.
Dhesim does not understand.
He's blinking at you. Blink, blink, blink.
It's fine. Thank you.
Did Pratchya realize that's information she can probably live without?
Yeah.
She's just like, my life will be a happier place not knowing.
My life will be a happier place not knowing where Sprigic is and what Dhesim's name is. Fine.
Totally fair. So, Captain Morrigan, your first mate, his name is Jojen. He is the big weird creature, and he's been like shouting orders at everyone in I just said it earlier, in Veshian.
Mhm.
And so, unless you speak Veshian, no one knows what he's saying. But Captain, you understand him. And finally, he comes up and stands next to you. Where are we going?
We're going east to Clastia.
I thought that's what I heard you say.
Yes.
Are we really prepared for this right now?
I think the better question is, are we ever prepared for anything we do? Take a swig of this. It'll make you feel better.
He nods and knocks it back. It's most of the way gone by the time he's done taking a swig, and he hands it back to you.
I gotta stop letting you do this.
In fact, you're sure most of what's left is actually backwash?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Moments later, the Miela runs over and like unties the ship from the side, and the ship starts moving out as the sails drop down. And she leans over and just watches the harbor master office waiting.
And I'll wave to the harbor master. And as I'm waving, I want to be like, so you all know how to fight, right?
Yes.
Yeah? All right, that's all I need. And I guess I'll like walk off and start doing my captainly duties.
Okay. So the ship, as the sun's coming up, essentially sails off to the south for a ways. Miela ends up leaning back over, and she's like, wow, the harbor master didn't catch us. Excellent.
Don't get too excited. We do have to come back here at some point.
I'll put money aside for the fee.
Thank you.
What does everyone want to do?
Start by asking the captain. Captain, you said we need to make ourselves useful. How do I do useful things on a boat? Do you need something fixed?
Brakaw, what's your passive perception?
12?
You notice as a broom appears, or a mop appears in your hand, and Miela is walking off as after she deposited it there.
Look, you answered your own question.
It's like she was waiting for you to ask.
Okay.
Thank you.
Are there any extra mops? Or
As you say that, you see Miela head in your direction with 2 more mops. She has this like weird like odd smile on her face, like she seems very satisfied that she's not going to be the one doing this.
And in answer to the previous question about can we fight, every now and then when no one else is all that close, I'd like to try and practice using the mop like a quarterstaff.
Sure. So I'm assuming it's not like super soon, but like a little ways after you guys have started mopping and everyone's busy doing their own stuff. Sure, do a just roll an attack roll.
All right, because I don't think I would have that used with dexterity yet, so this may or may not be set up correctly.
Oh, nice. As the mop skitters across the deck, the captain kind of eyes you.
Practicing. Practicing in case we suddenly get boarded, sir.
We're not used to mopping, so we're practicing our mopping. He certainly isn't used to mopping. He's very adept otherwise, though.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Expanding your repertoire of attacks.
Our cleaning repertoire.
Cleaning repertoire.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know.
The cleaning I know how to do. I'm very used to cleaning up. It's just the attacking with one of these I'm not used to.
Yes, attacking with mop. Yep.
Gotcha. That's let's hope you don't have to use a mop when we make it to your friend.
No.
Hopefully not.
That was cryptic. It made me a little sad. So the day passes pretty uneventfully. The crew seems pretty skilled at what they do, like everyone knows what they're doing. And the woman named something. Hang on. She has a name. It is Selena. So this woman named Selena scurries up and is sitting in the crow's nest watching. Everyone seems a little on edge, as though they were not worried about a fight, but from what you heard of Miela speaking with the captain and asking whether they were ready for this, you get the feeling they're not necessarily sure they're prepared to take on any kind of Calastian vessel. But that being said, they all obey the captain very promptly, and you sail off to the east. There's no sign of the ship on the first day.
Okay. Does this ship have any like ship-to-ship weaponry, or is it obviously like a merchant vessel?
You definitely do not see anything as far as cannons or ballistas.
Okay. This will be fine.
If you would like to ask the crew, you can, but you don't see anything.
Yeah. I'm actually gonna pull Selena or Celine? Celia?
So there's... Sorry, let me look at my list again.
Sorry.
So there's Miela, who's the... kind of seems like the third mate. She seems to be in charge of everyone else except for Jojen and the captain.
Yeah.
Selena is the woman who went up in the crow's nest.
Gotcha. I'm going to touch base with Niela.
Okay.
Hey, I have a question for you.
Yeah, there's more mop heads down in the hold.
Oh, thank you. I was wondering where they were, especially after yesterday. Man, that deck. You people had obviously done a great job before, but for some reason it just got really dirty. Anyway, we're doing a great job.
It's gonna be so sparkly when you're done. Yep.
But I did have another question for you, which is, I assume you're mostly like a trading merchant. My question is, do you know the captain's plan for when we actually get to the Classians? Are we fighting them or something, or doing intense negotiations that might wind up with fighting?
I highly expect there will be intense negotiations indeed. Yes.
Okay.
You do know how to wield that, right? And she points at your sword.
Yes. Yes, in fact, the other day I had some intense negotiations with another
I see that.
half-orc.
Yeah.
But my question is, are any of the crew members good with intense negotiations as well?
Oh, we should be able to hold our own.
Okay.
You all just worry about yourselves.
Okay. Does the ship have... That's fine. My new catchphrase, that's fine.
Right? Everything's fine.
Probably.
Probably. Hashtag probably.
Thank you. Do you know what the plan is for the approach and what is going to happen?
Well, we'll have to catch up with him soon, but the Argyle isn't all that fast, so we shouldn't have an issue with that.
Okay. But once we get to the ship, do you know what the general plan is?
The captain will let us know.
Okay. Thank you. I'm going to get more mop pads now.
Okay, so you go down to the hold, and the hold is actually shorter than you. It's
Something like this.
It seems like it was built essentially to put short crates into, but not a lot of like tall things and all that. And there's definitely like the boat was built for speed and not for a whole bunch of heavy shipping containers. So do a history check or intelligence or
let's see. A history. Did I roll? Yeah.
You did. Oh, nice. From your knowledge living in a port town for most of your life, actually, ships like these aren't really used for shipping large amounts of goods. They can be used for fishing vessels. This one does not smell of fish, however, so you're pretty sure it hasn't been used for that. You've heard that these ships can be used for, like, I don't know, smuggling and stuff. Moving smaller, more valuable goods fastly. I'm not even sure that's a word.
Quickly.
It is.
That's where my brain is today. Yay!
Hey!
Right. So, you kind of look around and you don't really notice like a whole bunch of goods that are stored down here. It seems pretty light. There's, you did see Krut come down here to get food. So that must be what's in those crates down there. But other than that, you don't see any weapons. You don't see anything like that. So,
do I remember seeing like on the sides of the ship maybe like lifeboats or anything like that, or have
you
they
do
ditched
not recall
those?
seeing that. No.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna get my mop heads and then go back up on deck.
Okay. While Pratchya's doing that, what are Brakaw and Dhesim doing?
Hanging out with Brakaw.
So I imagine there may be a little of making a mess, cleaning up the mess, making a mess, cleaning up the mess.
It doesn't seem so much of making a mess, although the salt water that comes over, a lot of times they'll have you essentially swab the deck to get it off. So it's not at this point.
That was also a reference to Dhesim.
Are you implying that Dhesim is making a mess?
Very, very strongly, yes.
Yes, he is. There are things to chew. There are things to collect and poke at and look at. There are all these new masters. It's very exciting.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I am really trying to get comfortable using this mop as an improvised weapon.
Sure.
Yeah.
As the day has gone on, it seems more handleable, kind of pun intended there. The mop head itself is a little weird, but the handle, like if you were to take that mop head off, the handle's actually pretty easy to whip around, but like the mop head, because it's like flailing around, it's like centrifugal force
Inbound.
goes off in weird directions.
Not properly balanced.
Exactly. It is not a masterwork mop. Captain Morrigan,
Yes.
is there anything that you would like to be doing besides captaining?
Not really. Because he saw he was slightly sloshed, slightly, just
Yeah.
slightly.
I mean,
He
on
saw-
the sloshometer, for him,
Yeah.
slightly slosh makes sense. Everyone else would
Yeah.
be dead, but you know, except for Dhesim. Dhesim would probably be okay.
He'll as the day goes on, he'll spend more and more time like in front of the ship as he knows that the ship is faster, and so like he can kind of gauge like it'll take maybe I don't know how long it'll take, but like at some point we will cross paths with them on the sea.
Yeah.
He will like go around captaining, talking to his crew, starting to get more serious as while he has his own vendetta, he doesn't want to risk his crew's life. And then he will, while people are mopping, he will chat with them just to kind of get a feel for their comfort in a negotiation if things were to go sour.
Yeah. Hey, do me a favor and do a Arcana check for me.
Arcana. So you are not free, therefore you should be able to roll over a 10.
And you have access
Leave
to
it-
him, right? On Astral?
Yeah.
Excellent.
I do, so Arcana. Nope. It's not Friede, it's
Excellent.
just me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with your character. All right, so yeah, you're standing up there and you have like a little spyglass, and every so often you pull it out and you're looking, and you know approximately, despite being partially sloshed, you know
Mhm.
about when they left, and you're a little surprised you haven't at least caught up to the point you can see them in the spyglass.
Yeah, that's fair.
Unless the first thing that comes to mind is that if they're not going where you think they're going,
Mhm.
then you might have lost them.
Right.
But as far as you know, this is the way they should be going for what you think they're doing.
Yeah. And I'm concerned about like what I think they're doing. If they're not doing that, then
Who knows?
yeah, like that's out of my area. So yeah, we'll just like keep at it.
Okay. And then you were going to go talk with who?
Just like chat with these new crew members.
Yeah.
I have a feeling, while my negotiation skills are superb, Colossians are not at my level of negotiation, so things tend to go sour when I talk.
It's
to them.
true. It's true. It's usually the unbridled bigotry between the two of you. Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't help our cause at all.
You so you actually know, and you may not have told them this. The ship itself is not Calastian,
Hmm.
but those were definitely Calastians that got on it, and you
Yep.
have seen them before, and they essentially hire ships to go to where you're going.
Hmm.
You're pretty sure for dropping off, like you haven't been able to get proof, but you're pretty sure
like-
they're dropping off people that have been taken from their homes and such.
Then yeah, we'll keep at it. Hopefully, we'll be able to catch them somehow. And then I will walk around with my trident and like put my trident as I talk to them, like closer to them, just to see if they get like freaked out at all. Test their mettle, that kind of thing.
I look. Pratchya looks more surprised that you suddenly have a trident. Did we board the ship with the Master of the Sea? Which.
I mean,
Hello, Captain Morgan.
How are you getting your sea legs? You seem pretty comfortable on a ship.
Well, my parents were merchants, so I know my way around a merchant vessel. Although they were largely worked on land routes, but you have to know your way around.
True.
I do have a question for you. Do you have a plan yet for when we encounter the Classians?
Oh yeah, we're gonna chat. If they took your friend, then we'll talk and be like, oh, you made a mistake, and we'll get your friend back, and possibly maybe if they made a mistake taking your friend, it's possible they made a mistake taking other people's friends, and so we'll do our best to take.
That's
take
true. May I make a suggestion?
Of course.
There are, people make mistakes all the time, but sometimes you have to be more aggressive in your negotiations and correct them in their mistakes. So if you have, once we dock and we're talking with them, if you have an individual crew member who's, first of all, great at swimming, and secondly, great at convincing locks to open, if there are more people on board, I imagine that, when they're negotiating, if we have to be a little bit more forceful with our negotiating, that individual can at the same time maybe convince some locks open so that we can prove a point. Because sometimes you need to have that extra point when you're forcefully negotiating.
You are a great negotiator. I can see that.
I am great at negotiating, especially when it comes to doors. I'm really good at negotiating them open. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Sorry.
Then perhaps we should change the plan. I was going to do the negotiating, but if you suggest someone who can swim and can negotiate doors open, I'm a decent swimmer.
Yes. Are you good at negotiating doors open as well?
I've done it once or twice in my time. Okay. Only when I had to, though. Obviously.
Of course, yes. No, we wouldn't do it normally. It's only to prove a point.
To negotiate properly. Yeah.
Yes.
I
mean, if you're really good at negotiating, then I would recommend you. But if you have another crew member, I could potentially help them with their forceful negotiations. I personally am not great at just negotiating. I'm better at just forceful negotiating. But if I have somebody that's on my side that's great at just negotiating, that probably would be great. Yeah.
Okay. I'm sure we have people who can do that.
Yeah. Dhesim, can you swim? It's not drowning.
Not drowning.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. We don't go into the water because there is not drowning and then there is drowning. And usually it's drowning. Unless you are born on the water, in which case then it is not drowning because you were born on the water and you have a very different name.
Okay.
Dhesim hasn't drowned yet, though.
That's good. Hopefully we keep it that way. So you will not be going into the water. Brock, I already know you can't swim. But that's okay.
Yeah.
Well, actually, we don't know if Brakaw can swim or not because Brakaw's from a desert.
Yeah, he's
Brakaw
never
has
tried.
no
has
idea
he?
if he can swim.
There's only one way to find out.
This much. I've never seen. I've never been in a water desert before.
Yeah.
Mm. I mean, there's water here. We can toss you in and see if you sink or float.
And Brakaw, maybe the most disturbing thing is that, like, at least with the sand, you can, like, figure out how deep it is. And for the last, like, almost 2 days, you've just been staring at this water, and you can't tell how far down it goes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very much used to being able to figure out the sand.
So the day passes
can
fairly
navigate it through-
uneventfully, but while everyone's, like, kind of chatting and everything, Captain, you notice this wind comes up, and it's actually blowing the wrong way for you. And you notice this storm cloud that's growing off to the southeast.
Mm.
What do you do?
We got batten down the hatches. Like, I don't think we can outrun it.
If anyone has hatches, batten them down.
Ooh, can I do this? Will this help? This will not help. Yeah, so we'll batten down the hatches, take down the sails. I will cast Control Water
Okay.
to redirect the flow. It'll only be like 300 feet, but, I think anything will help when it comes to, like, storms at sea.
How long does that last?
Until you get out of the... Is that what duration? What's the duration? Up to 10 minutes.
Gotcha. So essentially you could, like, kind of control the water around the ship or like at the back of the ship or something to kind of push the ship forward?
Yeah.
That makes sense. I like it. Too bad that's not a cantrip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Captain, is this gonna be a problem?
Well, not for me. But for those of you who are not as confident in the water, it could be. So, listen to Jiju today.
Hold, please.
Jiju and Miula.
Miela and
Miela
Jojin.
and-
Right?
Jojin, yes. Listen to them. If you can help, great. If you can't, just go down and be safe. And hopefully, in a few hours, we'll still be upright. But yeah, band up the hatches. Like, do everything to, like, make sure we can, like, survive the storm.
Okay.
Southeast, and we're heading, like, east and then, like, northish. Correct?
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
So essentially, like, we haven't caught them yet, and they probably avoid the storm. That's not good.
So, can everyone see the map except for John?
Yes.
Yeah, I can't see it.
Okay. So the area that I placed everyone in is essentially there's a door there that goes back into that cabin, and you've been assigned, like, these hammocks that hang above one another. There's not really a whole bunch of space back in there, but it's the closest thing to living quarters on here. Again, the hold is not all that large, and so you haven't been invited to stay down there. You do notice when people call it, they're and actually, Pratchya, you notice some hammocks that were down there, but they seem to be taken by the crew. So if you would like to essentially hide away from the storm in the cabin, you can do so. If you are not going to do that, let me know.
I'm looking around with the... Do these people think that I will be useful or useless? Look on my face.
Miela glances at you and sees your question written plainly on your face. You should probably go to the cabin.
Okay, I'll go to the cabin.
Should we all go to the cabin?
She looks at Dhesim and she looks at you and kind of shrugs, and the Slytherin might want to wait in the cabin. You'll probably do all right out here if you want, but no one will judge you if you don't.
Okay. I'll try to help out here. Just let me know what to do.
Okay. What are you doing, Dhesim?
I'm also gonna tie myself to the railing with like a length of rope, so I can still go around the deck. but,
Gotcha.
like, tied around my waist in case I go overboard.
Do you want to tie to, like, one of the masts, or
Yeah, I'm gonna
Okay.
tie it to a mast and then tie the rest of it around my waist,
Okay.
just in case.
Dhesim.
Desmond is still trying to understand why there's so many different words for kick. Because there's like forceful negotiation and negotiation, but they all mean kick.
Yeah.
It's a much easier word, but they were talking about kicking a lot of things, and he's not very good at kicking things. In fact, not drowning involves a lot of negotiation in the water, which is really challenging, and he's not a good negotiator, really. And he's torn because one of the masters is in the cabin now, and the other master is tied to the boat. But that's okay, because being tied to something is always a sign of being not a master to someone else who is also not inside the cabin. So the master of the master now, and these other masters are on the surface. So I'm just gonna wait, I think, for orders, I guess, while I try and figure out if this is a time where we negotiate,
Yeah.
or
So Pratchya,
maybe
you
I'll
see,
try out a negotiation. I'll just kind of kick a little bit.
so Pratchya,
and
you
see
see
if-
Dhesim standing there, and like he looks at you, and the rope that's got you like tied to the mast, and then he looks back at the cabin where Brakaw went, and he kind of wrings his hands, and he looks at you.
Dhesim. Dhesim. Would you like? There's a big storm coming, with rain and lightning. Giant storm. I'm going to point at the storm clouds, I assume are now visible.
That doesn't bother him at
Absolutely.
all.
Okay. Do you want to go below deck with Brakaw, or stay here with me on deck during the storm? You can choose.
Doesn't start to you blankly.
You know,
There's a
Brock is starting to feel a little lonely down here,
Yeah.
and is about to head back up to the deck. And
So Brakaw, as you are about to head back up, you hear like this crack of thunder that just shakes everything in the room with you, and the boat does this thing that you're not really sure what it's called, but your feet kind of leave the ground for a moment. Everyone
Okay,
make a
but can I
dex
make-
save.
A tech save. Oh no. Okay.
Deck save.
Where's my saves?
Just a heads up, you guys are all frozen on my screen, so
Yay.
I think the gremlin is mine this time around.
Dhesim got a 10.
Oh.
Yes, 10.
Oh.
Totally average.
So let's see, we've got a 18, a 10, a 7. Oh, come on, Captain.
A 1
Another
and a
seven,
1 if I had
right?
advantage.
Excellent. Coming over here. Okay, you guys are not frozen on my screen. And we're still moving on Twitch. Yay! All right. So, Captain, you were not expecting the swell to hit the boat quite so soon. Like, the storm is off a little ways. Everyone who got a 12 or below, which I think was everyone except for
Brakaw.
So Brakaw, when you land, when the deck hits your feet again, you just like spread your feet out and manage to keep your feet under you, and you stay upright. But everyone else like kind of lifts up as the ship drops, like kind of gets pushed up by the swell, and then just clumps back down, and everyone falls prone. Oh, I need to roll for Selena. Selena up in the crow's nest. You hear her cry out, but she does not fall.
Wow.
And then the rain hits.
Uh,
Dhesim, what do you do?
Rain and storms and whatnot are like. Have you ever been in a swamp? This sounds great. This is great. Been kind of like home, I guess. Only home doesn't move like this.
That's true.
I'm gonna continue wringing my hands and am totally torn. I don't know. Like, I don't know where I'm supposed to go. I've not been told what to do.
you were
I'm gonna
given
try and
free-
keep negotiating. Maybe if I show them how good of a negotiator I am,
Yeah,
that they'll let me negotiate.
they might.
That sounds great.
Pratchya, what do you do?
Keep kicking.
I'm gonna get an extra length of rope and tie it around his waist, assuming he allows me to, and tie him to the mast as well.
Okay.
And then if he wants to go below decks, I'll untie him and he can go below decks.
Okay.
But
So
I just
Dhesim,
don't want it falling off the ship.
Pratchya like walks over to you and like has some rope, and she looks a little hesitant about it, but starts trying to tie it around your waist.
I mean, that's clearly what has to happen. So he's like, okay, yeah, sure.
Tie it up.
She's in charge. Well, she's not in charge. That other guy who is her master is in charge, but he's not here right now, so she's in charge while he's not here. Yeah. So I understand the pecking order. This is very clear to Dhesim.
So Brakaw, what do you want to do?
So Rocket's thinking, all right, the boat's shaking a bit. They're going to need me up there. So I'm running back up onto the deck and look, see people who've tied themselves to the mast, and I'm going to look for some rope to do the same.
Sure. Absolutely can do that. Captain Morrigan, you have never fallen over on your own ship before, not drunk. How embarrassing.
The biggest problem I see in that sentence is that I am not actively drunk right now. We should fix it.
So what do you want to do?
I mean, I assume there's some kind of protocol for surviving a storm that Chaz doesn't know, that Captain Morgan would know. So he's going to do that. I assume his first and second mates, they know their places. So it's just unless this is some mega storm that Captain Morgan has never seen, I assume this is just going through the routine, making sure we pass through it as unscathed as possible so we can get back on the trail.
Go ahead and make a nature check.
Nature check.
And while everyone's kind of picking themselves up, the other crew members are running around tying things down and making sure that the sails aren't they've dropped the sails so they don't tear and rip the mast apart.
I'm gonna help them tie things down because I can tie things.
Yep.
So
I can tie things pretty.
Captain Morrigan.
Yeah.
This just seems a little weird. The storm was rather sudden, and it's not that sudden storms don't happen, but you start thinking about it, and with the way that the ship is apparently outpacing you, you have a feeling they have some kind of mage on board who might be affecting the weather, both against you and for them.
That's different. Okay.
I mean, there's not a lot you can do about it, but this is information you would probably realize.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, then, we'll try to make it through this magical storm and then go forward knowing that we're not only facing this, fast ship that should be slow, but potential, weather thing that will attempt to slow us down.
Yeah.
Possibly we won't make it during, at sea, but have to infiltrate Calastia somehow.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So the storm strikes, the clouds roll in, the rain gets heavier. The crew's running around trying to make sure that nothing essentially is falling apart or whatever. A couple of them run down and actually start bailing water out because the hold has. If you look at the top deck, it has the holes.
Yeah.
And there's just so much water falling out of the sky. Like, it's almost like just sheets and sheets of water. And it's kind of filling that hold up. Not a whole bunch, but Captain, you feel like it's a good idea to keep it from building up. Boats tend to go down if they have lots of water inside of them.
And not the outside.
Everyone just go ahead and make a con check. Save.
Constitution.
Sorry, con save.
Save.
Captain, you are so used to having this kind of crap happen.
What is going on?
Right? All right.
Woo!
Oh no.
All right. So everyone except for the captain, you're going to get a level of exhaustion.
Okay.
And you're also there isn't really like a thing for this, but you're seasick from the tossing and turning. So you spend much of the time of the storm being thrown around trying to not throw up. You just are completely miserable.
Did you roll a con save for me?
I did. You got a 6.
Well, I don't see. I didn't populate.
But meanwhile, my dog barked. So John, actually you can't roll. So Pratchya, roll any die on Astral.
What die should I roll? Let's
D100.
Oh, do we have a? I don't think we have a.
I think you could type it in, or you could just click on the.
I'll just click on the. You know what? How about I do the highest one I can quickly, which is the 20. Oh wait, oh now I know how to do this. D100. Yeah, let's see if this works.
Yeah. 60. Wow, that's like your first, maybe second, even. Excellent.
It's the first.
So, how many times can you control water?
Once a day.
Once a day?
Yeah.
But that was yesterday that you did it.
No, I did it in preparation for the storm.
Oh, that's right. Never mind. I won't use that. So the crew manages to like kind of aim the ship in a way that keeps everything from jostling around so much, even though that the waves seem really chaotic to everyone else. The captain and Jojin managed to keep like they're really good at their jobs. No one is exhausted. You're all still seasick though if you failed. So when the storm is over, everyone just feels and smells like wet rat because at some point Dhesim was like clinging onto you. And though you feel seasick, this nauseated just like feeling in your stomach and your head that won't go away, you were not exhausted. What would you like to do?
Look for that damn ship.
Sure.
It's gonna peer off to the general direction where it's supposed to be.
Make a perception check.
Go. And perception.
14. So as you look off that direction, you feel like after the rain stops and you look off over there, you're expecting to see like the edge of the storm or like some kind of daylight or whatever. And you're surprised to realize that the storm lasted so long that the sun has actually pretty much gone down. So the little bit of clear sky you can see as the storm rolls off, is turning to night.
Okay.
And you don't see any ship that direction.
All right. That's not good.
Is there anything anyone would like to do this evening?
Does this kind of sickness remind Dhesim of the kind of sickness that he would experience with Mama Tika?
What would Mama Tika have done to cause this kind of sickness?
Well, I mean, there was a lot of things that were consumed.
Yeah, this is definitely not so much a consuming kind of sickness. Like, it's not caused by anything you ate, which you would expect, like having lived through that
Or
before,
drank.
but more of like being shaken around violently for a time longer than Mama Tika ever shook you,
Okay.
which is impressive.
It is impressive. And it wasn't even her. Oh, maybe it was her.
Maybe it was.
From a distance.
You never know what
That's
kind of
amazing.
powers Mama Tika has.
Oh, shit.
Dum dum dum.
All of a sudden, Dhesim just goes.
Dhesim retreats. Earth the boat. He is going to hide. She can't shake what she can't find.
So despite hanging out throughout the storm, Dhesim unties himself. Actually, I feel like it's almost like you run to hide, and you hit the end of the rope, and then you just chew the rope off.
Yeah.
And then he runs into the cabin.
Did he
Yeah.
have to use the head?
Because it's out here, like all of those little slats
All
on the
those little things
side.
off the- yeah, on the
Right?
side. What? I hope he doesn't go downstairs. It's fine.
He probably will.
Well, he's got to mop it up.
That's what the extra mop heads are for.
Right. So, Captain, you feel like that was not extreme for a storm. Definitely could have been worse. And the biggest concern you have is that it's pushed you either off course, which is what you and your crew are currently trying to figure out, or has like really slowed you down so that the Argol is way ahead of you now.
Right. So then I'll like work with my crew to figure out like if it is like a off course or a slow down thing. If it's a slow down, then nothing changes. We just push our way through. If we're lucky, we'll like reach them at sea, but I doubt that at this point. If we're off course, then we need to figure out how to get back on course and head to Calastia.
Okay.
Although that would make a whole new thing. We have to get to Calastia to figure out like where this friend went, and so yeah.
Right. Pratchya?
Mhm.
What are you doing?
I'm gonna untie myself now,
Okay.
coil back up the rope, and then untie the rope that Dhesim left and coil up what's left of it.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna go over and listen to the captain's powwow meeting.
Okay.
And check in on Brakaw.
Okay.
See if he's okay.
And Brakaw,
right
you
there.
see Dhesim take off, and you see Pratchya taking off the ropes and coiling them back up. What do you do?
Well, I take off my own rope, look for the nearest mop to mop up the little bit of vomit from the
Yeah.
seasickness, and then start asking the crew if they need any help, since I have had to deal with the sand dunes and being lost in the desert, so I have some vague familiarity with being lost due to sudden weather,
Yeah.
and see if there's any way I can help.
So probably the best way that you know of is going to be trying to navigate by the stars once they come out. So once the storm clouds roll off completely, or at least to the point where you can see some of the stars, if I remember correctly, and don't quote me on this, I don't think there's like constellations of Skarn so much, but there are definitely stars that you can navigate by. So yeah, you can definitely do that once the storm rolls off. And
Yeah, that's what I'm
Pratchya,
doing.
as Pratchya, as you're listening, it just sounds like they're trying to plan for whatever the storm left them, like whether you guys are off course or lost or just really behind. They're trying to figure that out.
Sujita's gonna kill us.
So, the night actually passes pretty uneventfully. Brakaw, go ahead and make a survival check. It's 11. And Captain, go ahead and roll a survival check as well.
Oh no.
12.
So the two of you are actually pretty in. You both think you're pretty on course. It probably blew you away from the main continent by a couple of miles.
Okay.
Did I just say away?
Yeah.
In my head,
Yes.
I said something else. It blew you towards the main continent by a couple of miles. So you're actually still heading in the right direction. You just probably got slowed down
Okay.
by the weather instead. Anything else you want to do tonight before I fast forward? Hey, John, are you still there?
This isn't working. Can you hear me?
I can hear
Yep.
you now. Yay!
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry. It I guess briefly crashed, but I'm here. I can hear you.
Yay! Cool.
What did I miss?
Nothing. Everyone's about to go to sleep unless I am incorrect. Am I incorrect?
Nope.
Oh, I
Sleep
do
sounds
realize I am now Pratchya. So that means I'm going to scoot these things around while we continue talking. No, stop. So in the morning,
Okay.
Captain, you're standing down on the oh, my words just failed me. Bow. You're on the end of the ship. And you're watching, trying, like you're staring out, looking for the ship through your spyglass. Let's see. Friede's right. Pratchya goes there. Nope. You heard. Stop. Sorry. You heard Miela come up, and she's the one currently steering. She relieved Zirith, the Asathi, as far as steering the ship. Selena's back up in the crow's nest, and you heard Kurt go down to get breakfast started, like to get the stuff out of the hold for breakfast.
Right.
When everyone else starts waking up. However, make me a perception check.
All of us or just
Just
21.
why is this not going in
Nice.
front of? Excellent. As you're standing there, you think you hear something like fall over in the hold below you, And everything really should be tied down, so that's just weird.
Yeah, I'll head down to see what happened.
Brakaw, your nameplate won't show back up. Sorry. We'll deal with that later. So, Pratchya and Dhesim and Brakaw, as you kind of wake up and make your way out, you see the captain head below the deck.
Am I not still below?
So there's the hold and then there's the cabin. So you were in the cabin.
Cabin. Okay. I'm not going out until I'm certain that the proper sacrifices have been made to ensure that Mama Tika is satisfied.
Okay. What kind of sacrifices are those?
Well, it depends on what other living creature may have wandered into camp at the time. But as this is a floating camp,
Yeah.
the not drowning camp, I'm not really sure how that works. Usually it would just be me if she didn't have a thing. And she's already shaken me tonight from a distance, which means she's infinitely more powerful. If you strike me down in death, I will be more powerful than you can imagine. I'm pretty sure she said that.
Daily.
Daily, yeah. Gonna wait until I'm told it's okay.
How are you doing this morning, Brakaw?
I'm all right.
Is Dhesim still asleep?
I don't know. So someone might want to check in on Dhesim in a little bit.
Okay. He seemed to actually, question for John, how did Dhesim sleep last night? Like, where did he decide to sleep?
In the most inconspicuous space he could find. If that involved holding his hands in front of his face, and that was more inconspicuous than not holding his hands in front of his face, he would have done that.
You can't see me. You can't see me. You
Yeah,
can't see
if
me.
you can't see them, they don't exist. Therefore, they can't see him.
Okay, so
Pretty sure, however, that he was much better at finding a place that he could hide. I mean, you guys may be his masters, but you guys could eat him first. He'll hopefully use that as enough time to run away.
yeah, Dhesim seemed a little bit off last night, more than usual.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it could be the ship. He's afraid of drowning.
I mean, that's completely reasonable, understandable, and rational, but Dhesim seems to be having different issues.
Yeah, he did sleep with his hands in front of his face.
And that's not normal for Dhesim. Don't ask how I know that.
I was not going to.
There are things better left unknown.
That is true.
There are things I wish I didn't know, but I do.
So,
you just
Captain,
keep that.
you like climb down on the hold, and you're like, kind of having to bend over to head down towards where you see Krut. And Krut's like leaned over one of the crates.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
Isn't it a little early? He would never say that. Why don't you share some of your alcohol with me?
He just kind of sways a little.
Oh. This is not how you normally act when you're drunk. So then I'll go into try to figure out what he has, some kind of medicine check. Like, are you okay? How many fingers?
Gotcha. Are you, so you go up to him?
Yeah.
Okay. So as you get closer, like you see that he's like leaned over this crate, which should have food in it and stuff. And he's the cook of the ship, so not necessarily weird that he's in that. But the fact that he didn't respond to you is a little weird. And he's just kind of like moving a little weird. Go ahead and make a medicine check. You like
3.
just rolling the double numbers. What is up with that?
I don't know what's going on.
Right? It's really hard to tell. You can see him pretty clearly with your dark vision, but as far as you can't really make out any, you can't even see his face or anything like that. He's got his arms in the box. What's
Yeah,
what's your passive perception?
Passive perception. You have perception? You do, so that is a 14.
14. As you were like almost on top of him, you realize like his feet aren't like placed on the floor. They're like kind of like, you know, flip back, and they're kind of twitching.
Then yeah, we're gonna kind of like this is a friend like emergency situation. Like drag him out, just kind of like look at his face, see if he's breathing, whatever amounts for like CPR on the high seat.
Yeah. So you grab him and you flip him over. Right away, you see he has a large wound in his chest.
And I saw him when he was going down.
Yep. He did not have a large wound in his chest when he came down here.
Who are my closest crew members?
Let's see. You saw Miela was steering. Zareen was fairly close to the hold when you were over there, and actually Jojin was as well.
All right, we're gonna call them down. Like
Okay.
loud enough, like whoever is like on the deck who can hear me should come down. I don't think I'm gonna burn my trident, so take out my dagger and start looking around for anyone who would have been able to do this.
Okay. All right, so you kind of lay him down. You see the wound. You begin looking around and you call out for Zareen and Jojin to come down and help you. And you pull your dagger out and you look around and you hear this like wet, kind of mushy noise. And you're looking around for the source of it. And then you glance down at Krut, and his neck is just like swollen up, probably like 2 times the size of it normally. And his mouth starts like gaping open and his eyes bulge, and then his face just explodes outwards. And this worm thing crawls out and begins screeching at you. And that's where we'll end. Yay!
That was horrifying.
Yeah.
Told you it was Mama Tika.
Fun time. Well, I think Mama Tika got her sacrifice.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a good point, actually.
This is what happens when you don't
Good
give
point.
Mama Tika what she wants. Mama Tika takes what
it.
she wants.
Takes what she wants.
Well,
Wow.
let's do our introductions and we'll call it for this week. Dhesim, tell us who you are, who you're playing, and how to find you on the internet for us stalkers. I mean, not that I follow you.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you follow me because we're friends.
It's
Ugh.
true. It's true.
And my Instagram is it's active, but it's not that active. But it's got cool shit in there,
It's true.
and it's Distillosaurus Rex, which is a documentary of my time here in Ireland, making
Yay.
whiskey and looking at ruins and doing things that are completely illegal, like going into ruins. Yeah, my name is John, and I play Desert.
Yay.
Yay!
Hi. Oh, did you say Pratchya or did you say
Sorry, I said
Brakaw?
Pratchya. I'm just going down on screen. So
Okay.
Pratchya's next.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Catie. I play Pratchya on this awesome show. You can find me on Facebook at Catie Griffin Writer, or you can visit my website at www.mostprobable.com. And that's pretty much it.
Nice. Friede.
Hi,
Or
so I'm Chaz,
currently
who
Captain
currently
Morgan.
plays Captain Canras Morrigan, who just lost his like drinking buddy, like,
Right?
one of his like drinking buddies, but still. Yeah, I research video games and D&D and music and storytelling and all that stuff. And I can be found technically on Twitter at Calendar Chaz. Although if you find me, you'll be very bored because there is nothing there.
That's fair. Brakaw, tell us about yourself.
Alright, I'm Noah. I play Brakaw Blue, who is going to keep practicing with that mop until it becomes a monk weapon. And you can find some of the adventures that I write on DM's Guild, and you can find me on Twitter at Noah Grant.
Awesome. Yay! And I am Jeremy Hochhalter. I'm the Dungeon Master for the Curiosity Cache. You can also see other shows that I'm doing really mostly on Fridays here on Twitch at WH Publications. Come learn all about the Scarred Lands with us at 2 p.m. Eastern on Fridays as I chat with Sarah Stewart, who is the author of the only current Scarred Lands novel out there, Vigilant, which I highly recommend picking up. I'm also on the Twitter at WHPubs or on Facebook.com/WHPubs, or you can go to WHPublications.com. And we are here every Friday, ideally, as long as the internet holds up for us, which it, I think, actually dropped us out, so we're now recording instead of being live. But so it goes. Every Friday at 2:30 Eastern. I think that's right. No, 4:30. 2:30 my time. 4:30 Eastern. So come back and follow us. And if you don't catch us live, we're on YouTube and podcasts, and you can catch all of those links on the website. So until next Friday, thanks everybody for playing. It was awesome to see you guys, and thanks for watching. Bye, everyone.
Huzzah.